Hello, ladies and gents. Okay, not sure what happened there. How's everybody doing today? My name is Helix, also known as Ycey Narrates. Good to see you all today. Glad to see everybody's joining in. Seeing some familiar usernames. Jen, Donna, Shay, Karma, good to see you. Hey, Brandy. Holla. Oh, a second, I think I might have a little Thor puppy here that needs to say hi. How's it going, buddy? Nope, you don't need anything? Okay. It has been 0 sessions since I have mentioned Thor, yes. Hey, Spider-Girl. Silver Rain. Yes, the king has arrived. Oh, Spider-Rain, I did get your message. I'm gonna get back to you. Also, you might like the answer. You're not overstepping. Not with a proposition like that. Lady Spring, Lauda, or Laura. I don't know why I sometimes pronounce that with the Spanish way. Lauda? Oh well. Let me turn down the music just a smidge. There we go. How's everybody doing today? Cry? Ariel, hey, good to see you. Larissa, good afternoon to you too. I think you might be a bit quiet, I see. Oh, shoot, the mic. Here we go. All right, how about that, ladies and gents? Yeah, so I recorded earlier today, so the mic was set for, well, it was set for my recordings. There we go. How do I sound now? Music is a tad louder than your voice. Thank you, Anna's videos. How about now? Yeah, let me just do a little bit of tweaking here. There we go. All right. I'm Colombian. I prefer the Spanish pronunciation. Oh, there we go. Well, that... Okay, so that was a lucky guess then, Laura. Good to see you. What's up, bud? You okay? Boy, don't know what's going on. He's just... He's both happy but concerned. Sorry, I got something in my eyes, so... The face tracker, whenever I have to rub my eye for some reason, the face tracker loses track of my eye and just causes him to tweak out a little bit. Much better. Audio's better. Okay, thank you, chat. Hey, Pukariel, how are you doing today? Giving him head pats for you guys. All right. You okay, buddy? Okay. Nope, don't touch that. There we go. It's amazing how he... Sometimes feel like Thor's a little too durable. He lays down and his paws or his head could hit against something solid and he does not look bothered at all. I'm like, that was the desk. Are you okay, Thor? Thor's like, are you talking to the glowing box again, Dad? Speaking of glowing box, ladies and gents, I think that for once, I've spent a little too much time here. Why don't we take a step outside of the castle for just a moment, and why don't you step into a new environment? Why don't you step into the palace with me? Thank you. Ladies and gents, thank you so much for joining me. This is the Ivory Keep, or at least the Garden's ground. How are you all doing today? I'm going to add a little chat box about right here, but... I am experimenting with Streamlabs, so we'll see how that goes. But either way, chat, hope that you like the new decor. Oh, it gets better than that, too. Watch this. So we have it at day. Night. What about... There we go. Hey, and we got some lanterns out here, too. Lots of oohs and ahs in the chat. That's what we like to see. Thank you so much, ladies and gents. Oof. It's humid over here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that, Amity. But, since we're here, let me just shrink down, there we go. Raise my size a little bit. Very classy, thank you, Hala. Brandy is doing tired and sore, oof. May I care for the flowers, Ycey? I would love it if you did. They need someone to watch over them. Oh yeah, there's more than just this. So we have some lanterns here too. Shall we show you to a different part of the gardens at night? Here's one without the gardens. Got new backgrounds. I love it. Here we got nighttime, daytime, and nighttime, Daytime. I love it. You know what? I think I like the lanterns at night, so I'm going to keep that one real quick. Here we go. Nighttime. Blissful, relaxing nighttime. By the way, would anybody care to help answer a question for me? Oh, I'd love to lay my cheek on that ice castle. That's one way to put it. Yes, plant your cheeks right there on the shrine over there. Lay my cheek on that. It looks like the perfect place for a picnic. Shay, this is the place that that Helix here would take somebody if he was bringing them somewhere special. I imagine each of these little lanterns here would probably be filled with one of those magic crystals, the ones that hold a memory, or rather a series of memories. See, if anybody is new here and interested in a quick little one-sentence lore, heck yeah, house tour with Helix. Yep, this, ladies and gents, is my new pad. I totally didn't pay for it with streamer money. Sire, may I decorate with some ice flowers? Abby, speaking of ice flowers, there actually is a variant that has ice flowers. I just didn't upload them. All right, you know what? Next time. Next time, yes, you may absolutely decorate with some ice flowers here. Music and mic volume are perfect, by the way, sir. Thank you so much, Amity. So yes, if anybody wants a little bit of like 2-sentence Helix lore, in Helix's crystal cavern, that being this crystal cavern right here. So Helix is a star. Stars can change their form as they need. They visit different planets, and basically, if you've ever seen an isekai where somebody gets sent to another world, well, stars are the ones who often send them to those worlds. Those are guides, and then there are stars that help train those heroes. Those are guardians. So each of these little crystals actually holds memories from somebody. They're very powerful. And one of the little disguises, I guess you could call it, is Helix also disguised as a human. Helix falling in love. OMG, that sounds so adorable. He would be a little golden retriever kind of boy. I've been told that probably my ideal, not ideal persona, what would it be called? My spirit dog. I mean, I think I'm more of a German Shepherd, but some people have said, why not a Shepherd mix like Thor? So, okay, Thor is too good. I can't be Thor. But I think we've agreed that I've got the mellowness of a lab and the energy of a German Shepherd. You know, German Shepherds have that energy where it's like always on or always mellow. There's no in between. Actually, that is kind of they got that protective guard dog feature to them. But they're a little more paranoid. So I think, yeah, maybe Retriever Shepherd mix would be good. Somebody who's mellow at times and somebody who's upbeat at times. And when it's go time, it's bloody go time. But when it's playtime, it's playtime. Helix is a Star Dragon. He's the best Star Dragon, and don't tell him otherwise. Zombie, I appreciate that. Amity going, ooh, lore. In that background, yes, but I would want to recreate the scene from A Christmas Story where the kid sticks his tongue out onto the pole. No, Mackenzie, no. In that background. If you get your tongue stuck to any of these columns, I'm not helping you out. You're just going to do it again. Okay, I may help out and just say, no, don't lick the poles. I should not have to say this, but I can't believe I am. Don't lick the poles. I see you as a golden retriever. Helix's human name would be Henry. Change the name if you'd like. Huh. I mean, that actually would make sense. The reason why I go by Ycey is because I imagine in this world, Ycey is just one of Helix's personas. The reason why I even made that lore to begin with sounds convoluted. Think of a person playing multiple games that allow them to create avatars or control existing players. That's how Helix creates new selves. It's just Helix is a player creating avatars in games. That's what I mean. And Ycey, I imagine, is just one of Helix's many different personas. Helix is the original, the player. And Empyrean the Dragon, or I should say, Empyrean the Dragon is one of his different playable characters, or one of his semblances, they call it. And so is Ycey, the Prince of Cheell, the Winter King. Speaking of which, I haven't added that little winter crown, have I? Yeah, who needs it? You know what? Let me see if I added it yet. Holy cow. We had like 30 people watching yesterday, 170 today? What? I guess Monday was busy. Hey, Mama Bear, Audrey, so many familiar names coming back. Good to see you all. If anybody is curious, my name is Ycey Narrates, also known as Helix. I'm a variety streamer. I also like to play games and narrate with dry humor every now and then. Also, I may or may not have gotten somebody fired at my last job. I'm not entirely sure. Let me explain. Chat, help me out with something. I think I got somebody fired. Not directly, like nothing I did directly, but I think my example helped get somebody fired, unfortunately, shortly after I left. Mia, hey, good to see you too. Shirley, a lot of new names. Quite the way to start this session. Wow. Let me see if I can grab a little asset. Can I grab little assets, item settings? Here we go. Ooh, better yet, let me pull up a chair. Here we go. Let me pull up a little chair right here. Oh, that's too big of a chair. There we go. Let me pull up a chair right here. We're just going to have a nice little talk, ladies and gents. Silver Rain, you got someone fired? Listen, chat, I think I might have. I don't know for sure. I need your help with something, if you will, please. But first, let me get nice and cozy real quick. There we go. And here we are. Add this, shrink it down. There we go. It's a little much, don't you think, ladies and gents? Or do you think it's okay? All right. Answer this question for me. Ycey, please explain. I'm concerned. Yeah, chat, I need your help on something. I might have gotten somebody fired at my last job, but not me directly. Let me explain. So, the place that I used to work with, it deals in PCI compliance. PCI stands for Payment Card Industry Compliance. Basically, Visa, MasterCard, the major credit card brands come together to form PCI. Their job is to make sure that merchants and businesses are protecting their customers' credit card data. Spill the tea, chat. Chat is ready to hear the tea. Wow. Storyline with Ycey. The dragon who got someone fired. Listen, Helix is a frost dragon. Well, he's a star dragon. He should be able to spew fire like his brethren, but unfortunately he cannot. That's part of his story. He sort of lost his flame. Oh, yeah. So anyway, Enzo just texted me. For some reason, I was thinking that he might be here. Enzo and I both worked at this company, by the way. So, back to the story. PCI compliance, it sounds very complicated. It's more or less a tech phone job, basically where merchants will call in and ask you for help filling out what's called an SAQ, a self-assessment questionnaire, one that's assigned to their business. Looking like the king you are, Ycey. It's beautiful. Thank you, dear. I thought that I'd take a break outside the cave, and thought I'd show you all the castle grounds, the palace grounds, namely the gardens at night. My only tiff is that this background has only blue and white. I'm going to customize a background that has more colors than just blue and white. But this works for now. This is the little extension. Yes, spill the ice cold tea. Okay, I'm getting there. Back to the story. So at this job, because there are so many different PCI compliance, so at this job, PCI compliance covers a lot of different ways that you process credit card information. Whether it's something simple, like you have a website with a third-party portal at the end, wherein, a third-party business takes care of all the credit card purchasing for you. So credit card data almost never touches your website at all. Or you've got an iPad with a little square device plugged into the side. Those are very simple setups, all the way up to the most complicated setup of all time. You are storing full credit card numbers electronically. That opens up the highest numbers of that opens up the greatest potential for breaches and vulnerabilities, so you would need to do a lot more to protect that credit card data. Anyway, because there are so many different moving parts, and because these standards update every year, they have different teams dedicated to each specialty. Eventually, I worked in what was called HIPAA compliance. It's similar to PCI compliance, but it deals with medical records. I was only working there for a couple of years. I think I only had like a year, no, not even that, like 6 months on the job when the pandemic hit. So 2020 rolls around, We're all working from home. And oh, yeah, as a HIPAA agent, what your job entails is that you have a list of clientele. People who work in medical offices, be it a doctor's office, a surgeon, a pharmacist, anybody who has to touch or record medical records. You would probably be working for them because HIPAA is required by law here in the United States. There are massive penalties to breaching HIPAA. HIPAA violation is very intense here in the United States. You do not want to be charged with HIPAA violation. You might as well be charged with theft, and you'll probably get a much more lenient crime depending on the situation. Anyway, so what an average day in HIPAA would look like is I have a list of clients that I personally work with. I call them, we set up appointments, we go through all the different regulations, like, is your firewall set up to this standard? Okay. Do you have an active antivirus? Basic things like that, all the way to referring them to a specialist who can scan their network and make sure that the necessary ports are closed or open, etc. I'll spare you the details. Hello, Shirley, to you. To you too. I'll spare you the details and just say that I was only working in HIPAA for maybe 2 years before I switched over to just doing voice work and stream full time. But it was a rewarding experience. However, here's the part where I'm wondering if I helped get somebody fired. Remember what I told you about the pandemic? Well, during that time, a lot of people were shut indoors, and so thus a lot of phone numbers on my list were not up to date. And the entire HIPAA team only consisted of like 3 people, myself and 2 other guys. Actually, just 1 other guy. The 3rd guy was the manager, and he was in charge of us, the 2 HIPAA guys, and several others. So anyway, what happens is that as we make calls, nobody's picking up, which means that none of the offices that we usually work with or talk to are answering, which means we can't set up appointments, which means we can't verify that people are HIPAA compliant, which means on paper it looks like we're not doing our job. You know, that's pretty nerve-wracking. You are trying to work, you are trying to contact people in these jobs, but they're not picking up. So what do? I decided to look at past records. Here's what I did to make sure that I actually had appointments so it looks like I'm working and so that I can do my work and get my bonuses and all that. I looked at past dates, meaning here's what I did. Anytime you call somebody and actually talk with them at the office, the database records when you actually spoke with them. So I pulled up this little database on each of the clients that I work with and saw, okay, what time of day do they actually pick up? And I found there were several that indeed picked up only at a certain time. And I tried calling them at those times, and sure enough, I lucked out. I actually got some appointments. So picture this. You have 2 employees working the same job. The pandemic has hit, and hardly anybody is either at the office or picking up or who knows what. But one of the guys is managing to actually work and get appointments. The other one, not so much. And now, once I left that business, before I left, I actually had scheduled appointments and, I transferred all the work over to the second guy, made it so that he had some work so that it looks like he's actually doing his job. And it really helped him for a little bit. I was like, here, you got 4 appointments on these dates, this date and this date. That should help you out with clearing your name. He's like, thanks. I later hear back that he got fired. And every time, apparently what was going on is he never found that way of making sure that clients were picking up. And what I'm thinking happened is that they were looking at my work and thinking, well, this guy was able to find appointments. This guy was able to, talk to the clientele. How come you weren't? And his answer was simply, well, no one's picking up, because that is true. But at the same time, that's also because I was kind of going a little above and beyond trying to find exact times and dates when people were actually picking up. And so think of it this way. Imagine you were being compared to the employee that is going above and beyond, doing things that the job really doesn't require. So I'm thinking to myself, Rick, did I help get him fired? And either way, I'll tell you this much, I at least helped him keep the job for at least a couple months because those appointments that I had, organized and then passed over to him. Yes, that was my shower thought for today. Thinking back on some of the weird questions that we'd ask around the office, and then thinking, huh, whatever happened to that team that I used to work with? Then remembering, oh yeah, there was me and one other guy in HIPAA. Oh shoot, that's right, he got fired. I wonder who replaced both of us. Wait, why'd he get fired? Oh, it was because they said he couldn't find appointments and he kept making excuses. Quote unquote, excuses. Oh shoot. Were they trying to compare him to me? Oh no. Oh boy. I doubt that is the case. As Knuckles in the meme, approved. I don't know. It sounds like he wasn't trying like you did. Honestly, Jen, that could be the chance, because I did tell him the strategy I used. I said, hey, look in the database. Like, you know, everything every time you and I make a call, make an appointment, it shows, you know, the database reflects it. It shows who we're talking to, when they picked up. Do the same thing. And he said he was supposedly doing that, but nothing happened, so I don't really know. I don't think you're entirely to blame. He could have always asked you, hey, how did you get those suckers to pick up? Exactly, Silver Rain. I told him my strategy on how to get people to pick up. It sounds like he just didn't do it, or maybe circumstances changed. Icy Shower Thought of the Day thinks about that one guy from HIPAA. Listen, I don't choose the stress dreams, I just roll with them. I don't put the train on the track, I just drive it. I don't choose the stress dreams, I just sweat over them. So in a nutshell, you unintentionally got someone fired because you had a better organization system than him. Now what I might have done. Might have done, Amity. Might have done. But that's why I'm like, is that really my fault? Because I was in his similar situation. It was hard to get people to finally pick up their dang phones and dedicate to an appointment, so it looked like he wasn't working. Anyway, I can see you might have some blame, but left and right hand weren't talking and he didn't exactly choose to follow through. Yeah, I tried giving him some pointers, and according to him, he sounded like he was following it. But, oh well. As a pharmacy tech, I fully get it. Luna, thank heavens there's a pharmacy tech where you worked with. No joke. Enzo! See, that's what I was saying. And I got a text from Enzo and thought, oh shoot, Enzo's worked at this place. I wonder if he knows what I'm talking about. Enzo, this is that PCI compliance place that you and I worked at, back when I switched over to HIPAA. Do you remember... Enzo, you remember this guy. He was the guy who, he was really easy to tick off. Do you remember him? Keen say in this case, it's sire talk. Sire talk. By the way, Enzo, how do you like the new crib? How do you like the new place? Looks pretty nice. These are just the gardens. Wait till you see the courtroom. The throne room. Well, technically I'm in a throne right now. It's a portable throne, you know? It's not your fault. After all, the pandemic affected many. True, Jen. It was a lot easier to schedule appointments and actually communicate with people before. But then with people leaving the offices, it really screwed up a lot of things. Because phone numbers were not updated even after people went back to work. That's what happened. He had a chance to use it. May have helped. But in the end, it was on him. Yeah. It just goes to show. You might actually have gotten somebody fired once without even trying. Enzo says, oh yeah. So you know who I'm talking about, Enzo. Digging the vibes. Oh, you digging the vibes. Thank you. I'm adding a fat X to doubt on it being your fault. Activity is recorded, which means they compare and see who is good at the job. You doing your job right equals not your fault. Yeah, I did also try showing him a couple of tips and tricks, both how to give yourself a small break, I'll say, and how to actually work. Either way, though, need a bit of fuego to spice it up. It's funny you mentioned that, Enzo. So Enzo, one of the different voices, one of the different backgrounds that I've got is actually a fire and ice theme. And I figured, you know, if we ever get you like a PNG tuber, I'll add your PNG tuber here. You'll have the fire space, I'll have the ice space. Could have been he had one foot out the door. That's possibly so, Silver Rain. To give that business its credit, you didn't ever have a chance to actually just get fired out of nowhere. Unless you were making like lewd remarks at people or doing sexual harassment and all that. Like for real though, not the time I got Not that fake situation, if you know which one I'm talking about. But yeah, they typically give you a lot of warning in advance before just boot, you know? He probably did have one foot already out the door. He did. I just remembered. You can... Funny little story, chat. When you work in any kind of phone service, the mute button is your best friend. It is your reprieve. It is your way of clearing your thoughts and venting your frustrations. You can press the mute button and call that person an imbecile, or just say, just turn the dang thing on and off. There was one time that the guy in question didn't... There was one time that guy in question had a caller, and he said, asshole, when the caller was being frustrating with him. He forgot to press the mute button before. Thankfully, the caller did not realize it. The Q&A people, on the other hand, though, were like, don't call our merchants an a-hole. Well, he's like, oh, shoot. Yeah, he forgot to press the mute button. So yeah, he probably did already have one foot out the door if that's the case. Bless the mute button on the phones. The only way I haven't been fired. Shay, you work a phone job, don't you? The mute button is indeed a godsend, especially when you're like, let me go check with one of our specialists on this particular question. Puts them on mute for less than a minute, because beyond that, and you're getting a strike on your account. And you just sit back and breathe like, I am talking to nothing. I am talking to no one. Breathing exercises do not get fired. You don't want to be back on the job market. Oscar was keeping me employed. I would have been fired a long time ago. Oscar, you mean the mute... Enzo, did you name the mute button Oscar? Language? Sorry, Amity. I was quoting somebody. I see. I also worked on a call center. It's so freaking hard. Meg, Mama Bear, it truly is it's tough. You showed him a new method that could become the new standard for the team, and he probably didn't use it. I hope that was not the new standard. If that was the new standard, I screwed a lot of people. I ripped a couple of stress balls there. Oh, you ripped stress balls, Enzo? I thought that... So that's what those pieces at your desk were from. Oh, I thought you were just doing that like when somebody's peeling an orange and just, passing the time. Okay, chat, I got another thing for you. Around that same office, me and one or two other guys primarily would ask each other would you rather questions. And sometimes they were would you rather questions, sometimes they were would you press the button related questions, or would you pick option A, B, C, or D, or what would you do in this situation? Everybody has those jobs where you just try to pass the time in some way. Hang on, let me get some water. No, not language at you, is at the other guy. Oh, thank you, Amity. Oh, so it was the other guy, not at me. Checking back. Oh, hang on a second. One of my tenants just texted me. Okay, never mind. All right, back to what I was saying. So I'm curious. Ycey, sometimes your work ethic inevitably makes others look like they're slacking. Unfortunately. Yeah, it can't be helped. Ycey, I believe it's freaking hard to keep your cool with people. Here's my mantra, though. And I personally think that everybody who's ever been in a leadership position at any job knows that it is inevitable that your employees will goof off at some point. That is not a crime, though. The real crime is if it's either A, hurting the business, like the clientele, or B, if their goofing off causes them not to do their job. But the way I see it is good managers who know that their team is goofing off, and what I mean by goofing off is I mean things like, let's say you work a phone job and you're browsing the internet at times. Your managers have access to your history. They know what you're searching for. They know when you're goofing off. Some of them just choose not to look at it because they'll look at, like what I would do, are you doing your job? If you're doing your job, then why bring up the fact that you're browsing the internet? or sitting on your phone. So long as it's not something like, okay, your numbers are starting to slack, and I'm going to call you into my office and say, hey, I see that you're browsing these websites for like an hour a day. It's like, oh, yeah? It's like, okay. So I'm also noticing that it's cutting into your work time. So now, it's like I also notice it's cutting into your work time. You are not getting a hold of you're not doing, I don't know, whatever your itinerary is. You've got this on your inventory you still need to do. When's that going to be done? It's like, I can get on that right now. Okay. You can use that as a bit of leverage by saying, I know that you're goofing off, but I've only let you do it this far because you were doing your work. But now you're not doing your work. So go do your work, and I'll ignore your goofing off. Because let's face it, humans are not machines. You need to do a little bit of goofing off during the day. It keeps you sane. As much as some businesses or some managers will pretend that that's not a thing, it is a thing. Ycey, I had to deal with desperate folks who... Oh, hang on a second. Sorry, Mama Bear, I was reading that. I had to deal with desperate folks who had no AC in the deep south, like elderly folks, or people with black water coming into the drains. Are you kidding me, Mama Bear? That needs... Tear that house down. Now, let's see. People are human, not robots. Exactly, Kizzy. As in, management is watching live stream while working. Is in management and is watching a live stream while working. Kizzy. I mean, technically, Kizzy, we are talking about work right now, so are you really goofing off if they ask you, what's this? Why are you talking to a cartoon man? You're like, I am not talking to a cartoon man. I am exploring avenues of proper management. And as you can see, this is some very sound advice. Some very sage advice, you might say, from a very sage gentleman. A very sage cartoon gentleman. That's why it's important to hold a tight leash. Metaphorically speaking, of course. Oh, and literally, Donna, depending on who's leashed. Let's see, Ycey, thank heavens for my manager, because she saved my skin so much. Mama Bear, you've got a solid manager. I love that. Yeah, manager inspires. Necessities of life. Food, water, sleep, clown time. Can't change my mind about this. Talk to the wall. You know, Silver Rain, when you say talk to the wall, that makes me think of people who talk to their mirror, like they're on a talk show host. My workplace is awesome, very supportive and fun, although there were some changes to management. There were some changes with the company we manage. Ariel, did you say that you work in a Starbucks last time I was here, or did you switch jobs? Kizzy, I am watching Sire talk. There we go. Cry, false alarm, my bad. Yeah, glad to see that you are okay. Chat, I'm going to say that if there's an emergency happening, we can't do jack. We can only say, call the dang police. Or, if you're in the United States, get the shotgun out. Why are you texting Anime Man for help? Cartoon Man can't do help if somebody's breaking in. Grab the shotgun. Shotgunny can help. Shotgunny has a lot of different solutions to a lot of break-in problems. Shotgunny is your best friend in house break-ins, kind of like how the mute button is your best friend in call support. Or the bathroom is your best friend if you're in food service until it's rush hour. Unfortunately, I have to go now. Try to join. Okay, Amity, my dear mod, thank you for letting me know. We'll be here shortly. We will be here. You used to work at Taco Bell. Ma'am, I can only give you an extension for a number of times. Why are people calling Taco Bell for technical problems? Ay, ay, ay. Let's see. Oh man, Ycey, yeah, the black water was real, and I called a manager on the other side to get some help for the poor lady so she could get help and shower next door. I have so many questions, and I don't even know where to begin on that. Ay, ay, ay. Hey, I got a question for you all. In whatever job that you used to work at, what were some of the ways that you would pass the time? Because in my job, like I said earlier, there were a couple of us, namely myself and one other guy, that would just ask would you rather questions. Either would you rather, would you press the button, would you pick option A, B, C, or D, what would you do in this situation, etc. Stupid stuff like that. They almost sound like when your girlfriend asks you the question, would you love me if I was would you still love me if I was a potato? Like, well, you would be a hot potato. Shotgunny is your best friend, just like the mute button is for tech support. I see 2025. Shay, I'm glad you quoted that, because that is the gospel truth. Do your thing, muses. I'm always listening, chat. Hey, chat, you know that picture? You know the 100 or 1,000 or million gifs out there of a cat that's spying on you? That's Amity. That's my mod. She's like a cat that's always watching, even when you think she's not there. I would just listen to Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl performance. Okay. I've already answered your question in my last message, Ycey. Okay, Megs, I guess I missed it. We had a dedicated karaoke room. What the heck? A dedicated karaoke room in a previous call center? That just sounds like... I thought call centers were supposed to be quiet. At least ours was. A karaoke room? Luckily, I haven't heard Morris, the assumed ghost that knocks on my walls, in a while. Should be worried. Mackenzie, I don't think that's a ghost. I think that's a rat in your walls. Either that, or you might want to check to see if somebody's spying on you. That's why in one of the rules I follow, it's better not to ask and left unsaid. Okay, Jen. Yeah, Jen, that's some pretty sound advice. Just don't ask questions, just keep moving on. I see the company had several lawsuits pending, contractors and consumers both. I was happy when they went under, because I couldn't handle people raging or crying when I'm freaking 6 months preggers. You did tell us about this company, Mama Bear. Good gravy. That is some grave deep doo-doo. One of the questions that I had heard... oh yeah, chat, I got a question for you. I listened... One of these types of would you rather questions, it was from a wife who asked her husband, who's a big history buff. I can send you guys the video if you want. She says, if you went back in time and, this is a wife who says to her husband, say you go back in time. You are now the king of this new place, and you have to get married as a arranged marriage to this woman. Would you do it? And the husband, who's a history buff, knows, oh, if I don't do it and I'm the king, that's a grave insult to another royal family that I'm declining the marriage to. This could potentially lead to war, or at the very least, some kind of economic cutoff, like cutting off all trade with each other, which is also an act of war. So the wife says, would you cheat on me then? And he says, technically I haven't cheated. My biggest question would have been, honey, did you go back in time with me? If she says no, then I'm like, well, then I'm not cheating on you. She goes, what? No, think of it. I am back in time. If I am stuck there, you have not yet been born, because you do not technically exist. You cannot cheat on someone if they do not exist. Now, if I then went back forward in time, and I'm now back in the present, then yeah, I cheated. Holy crap. Then I'm in deep doo-doo. But no, if I'm staying back in the past, then I'm staying in the past. And if you went back in time with me and they say that I've got to, marry this other person as part of an arranged marriage, well, I can just say that I'm already married and I cannot marry again. Because for most of Christian Europe, you can only marry once without putting away your first wife. And I think they'd understand. It's a good out. So congratulations, honey, you just saved me. I'm curious, chat. I got a question for you now. Is going back in time... I see with the technicalities. Listen, Silver Rain. When you get asked awkward questions by... And this guy who originally answered it can probably verify, because it sounds like his wife asks him these questions all the time. When you have a girlfriend or somebody that asks you strange questions like that, you gotta be ready on the fly with these kinds of questions. Technicalities are how I survive the impossible, okay? I see. You have a point, I see. Thank you. Schrodinger's cheating. Bukariel. Schrodinger's cheating. That is, unfortunately, Schrodinger's cheating. Oh, yeah. Imagine that, though. Imagine getting thrown back in time, being forced into an arranged marriage, consummating the marriage, and then going back forward in time to the present. You're like, oh, shoot, I did cheat. And she's like, well... Did you? I'm like, technically I could try to say that was in my past. Way in my past. But then it's like, yeah, but it's not in your past before you met her. I'm like, crap. Crap, I cheated. And that's how you get around those kind of things. Ycey, I must know if you were talking about history. How often do you think of the Roman Empire? Not very much, Shay. Although when that question first came up, Shay, I was actually playing a game called Crusader Kings 3. And it's picture The Sims, but with Risk. as in the board game Risk. It is literally Sims where you are creating characters and a family and an entire dynasty. And whenever the head of that dynasty dies, you control the next heir in line. And it continues so on and so forth until you either accidentally get your entire dynasty killed, or until you just finish the game at, I think that's the year like 990? No, it's probably earlier than that. So yeah. During that time, though, there was an achievement called From the Ashes. And it's where you restore the Roman Empire. And I was gunning for that achievement along with several other achievements in that game. So during that time, I was thinking about the Roman Empire literally every day. But no, nowadays I don't think about the Roman Empire often. Maybe the aesthetics, or maybe the influence, or maybe some form of fantasy leads me back to thinking about Rome when I think, oh yeah, that was based off of Rome from this time period. Well, that was based off of the Roman Republic. I see where they're coming from. The only thing I want to go back in time for is just to see what life would be like if I was never born. Ooh. Luna, those are the kind of questions that would keep somebody up at night, or the kind of depressing questions that would make someone think that it was better off that they were never born. I'd say it's better off that you are. There's no getting away with that, Ycey. Listen, Donna, you're put in an impossible situation. You gotta make an impossible decision. People have been saying my stories and or characters are their Roman Empire, and I was like, huh? Oh no, Ariel. See, Ariel, just take that as a compliment, okay? Sims with Risk, you have my attention. Shay, one of these days I am going to stream just one episode of Crusader Kings 3 because I have a feeling it's like a 98% male genre, and I don't get why. Because I have met countless girls who love playing The Sims, and I'm like, this is the same thing. The only difference is that you've basically got Risk, but in Crusader Kings 3, you do not even have to go to war. Okay, chat, level with me right now. If you could create a Sims game, if you could play a Sims game wherein you are either a baron or baroness, a count or countess at the lowest, or an emperor or empress at the highest, and everything from political scheming to assassinations to arranged marriages to eloping with your secret lover, all the way to adopting bastard children, siring bastard children, accidentally marrying too close to the family tree, if you know what I mean. All the way to, yes, doing a hostile takeover of your enemy, or even marrying off your heir to a local kingdom, and then assassinating that heir's heir so that your heir inherits the kingdom, and you've now expanded your realm without ever going to war. Would that game pique your interest? Because that is Crusader Kings 3. Well, I'm taking that as a compliment, as you should, Ariel. So, Silver Diana Gabaldon is an author. Look up her books. It's exactly the time traveler vibe Sire is talking about. You don't say, Mama Bear. I'm not really stickler when it comes to time travel. Like, I'm a very easy person to please when it comes to time travel. There are sticklers out there. I'm not one of them. I do not care what theory of time travel you're going with, so long as it's entertaining. Annie L. The Roman Empire copied so much Greek stuff, though, guys. Everybody copied Greek stuff at some point. Even the Persians copied Greek stuff, and the Greek stuff copied Persians. Annie, let's say that somebody introduces you to a new food that you like, and it's amazing. It's now one of your favorite desserts you've ever tried. Better yet, they introduce you to another dessert, and another, or even another dish, and another one. And then you find out that this dish, these series of dishes, or these series of pastries come from one bakery. That's now your favorite bakery. You now work for that bakery, you rise up in the ranks and now own that bakery. You did not come up with the recipes, but now you're altering the recipes and improving upon them. Are you copying them, or did you just take what you like and did what you want with it? I don't want to play that kind of game you're talking about, Ycey. I have enough anxiety as is, me not needing political machinations. In that case, Silver Rain, play as a low-tier countess or count, or play as a duchess or duke. That way you don't have any of the responsibility of the ruler in your nation. You just get to you know, do the lower tier stuff. You can just create your own little idealized castle. Oh, that's another thing. You get to decorate your castle. I never get past the beginning setup of Sims, just build houses. Okay, Kizzy. I mean, there's more to it? You mean there's more to it than that? I definitely move forward and never go through with the arranged marriage. I would never be happy in the past because my significant lover in the present who has made me happy. Jen, ah, hundreds will die because of your love. Thank you. Or more like to quote Saruman, thousands, tens of thousands. I may have looked for influence for Greek names / words for the crystal spirits in my novel. You don't say, Ariel. Oh, Thor, did you? I'm okay, chat. Water. Hang on a second. Yep. There was an attempt on my life by my own dog. Larissa says you get to decorate your own castle. Yeah, Larissa, but there's only minor decorations. You do get to decorate your court. Like, you get to have a collection of artifacts. Like, here's my crown, here's my other crown, here's my scepter, here's my royal robe, here's my royal dress, and here's my nice sword, all of that. Look at how many people are here, 140. It got up to like 160 at one point, Mackenzie, and it got up to... I might be remembering this wrong. Got up to 189. Yeah, we're doing numbers. Hey, everybody. I'm happy too. I love Greek mythology and I love Rome. Same here, Ariel. I like mythology, period. I'd be a disowned daughter since I won't agree to that arranged marriage. I'd rather... Abby, I need you to know that because the F was cut off, because whatever you were about to say was cut off and just ends with F, and because we're talking about eloping and arranged marriages, all I read that as, I would never agree to arranged marriages. All I want is to just cuts off right there. Change of scene. Oh my gosh. Thor bomb and the dragon goes down. Yeah, Abby, I think that was just the ruler of this throne room trying to remind me who the real king is. I need to get a Thor PNG. What am I doing? Yep, Afro Queen, that's exactly what happened. Thor did. Okay, copying is not bad, really. Just gotta copy stuff better. Exactly, Annie. Yeah. We must adapt and evolve. Salute emoji. I spent so much time trying to find it. We need a Thor cam. We probably will get a Thor cam if I ever get to doing a cooking stream. Just need to get some recipes that are worth cooking. Need to practice more of my cooking, you know? I got a cast iron pan. And I just need to get some good quality meat to cook on that thing. Ycey, sorry, I typed I'd rather travel the world with the British Tea Company. Which tea company are we talking about? Are we talking about the one that ruled India for a time, or are we talking about a different one? Star Dragon is lonely, must get him a puppy friend. Yes, Silver Rain. Yeah, I need to get a Thor asset, a little PNG Thor. Even if it's an animated PNG, he just sits there smiling, you know? Speaking of which, oh, that's why he's getting all antsy. It's 3:30 where I am. Sorry, chat, I gotta go feed the doggo. Hey, if anybody has any questions for me, I got some questions for you when I get back. If you got questions for me, hold on to them. I'm gonna get up some polls real quick. I've got some questions for the chat. In other words, it's time to hit the polls. The question polls. I'll be back in just a second, ladies and gents. Hello, ladies and gents. Thank you for joining me today. I am back. Boy, Thor has reminded me yet again that he may be 12 years old, but he is ready to go out swinging on a moment's notice. Holy cow. Fun fact, Abby, Ycey, if you ever visit Japan, go to the Kishi station. There's a cat, which is the station master. Actually, some stations have cats as their station masters. I was just thinking a moment ago how you know you're a cat owner because you adore your pet and spoil it like none other, but treat it like royalty. If you're a dog owner, you adore and spoil it like it's your loyal companion. But you are the master. Thank you, chat. Welcome back indeed. I feel very welcomed back. Does anybody want to hear a Thor story real quick? Yeah, you know you're a dog owner because you won't shut up about your dog. That's definitely the case. Yes, return. Ring the bells. Shay. So, Thor recently had a little moment where, late at night... Hey, Enzo, are you in the chat right now? Have you ever... Enzo, you remember when you knock on my door at night because you come home late sometimes? And, Thor says that you did not announce your presence ahead of time, and he says that there is a consequence? Yeah, so... My dog Thor is half German Shepherd and half Black Lab. Really good mix. This is the second time I've had that dog breed before. It's my personal favorite. All the mellowness of a Black Lab, all the family-loving nature, but all of these smart, easy-to-train aspects of a German Shepherd and, the guard dog instinct. Well, despite him being 12 years old, he has reminded me on multiple occasions that he is ready to go down swinging. One such occasion was back when I first moved into this house. Now, this also happened at my parents' house too, because when I was in college, Thor stayed with my parents. And I would visit them a lot, sometimes spend the night. On one of these occasions, I came home to my parents' house late at night. They have a back door and a front door, of course, and there's this little hallway that connects the main frontal rooms to the back rooms. The back rooms, not the back rooms. Rooms like the dining room, kitchen, those back rooms. Not the you're going to get chased by a skibbity meme in your nightmares type of back rooms. So I come through the back door one night. This is at my parents' house. Oh, don't worry, Thor did it at my house too. So I come through the back door, and I arrive in the dining room area. To the left of the back door is the living room. To the right is a kitchen. Parents lived in a very nice house at that time. So those are the back areas. But connecting those is a hallway, and that hallway connects to the front, like a living room there, the front entry room. There's a couple of rooms over there, including my parents' room. And then in the middle of that hallway, there's a door that leads down to the basement on the right, and another door that leads to the garage. In other words, oh yeah, and a set of stairs in the middle that leads upstairs. Thor places himself in the middle of all those places. Smart, right? He can watch the front door and the back. He can monitor the upstairs and the downstairs. He knows when somebody enters through the garage. He knows when somebody enters through any entrance. Well, I had not been living at my parents' house for a long time, and he did not recognize me. So I come through the back door, and I see, as I come through the back door, everywhere is pitch black. And Thor, by the way, is also pitch black, in case anybody has not seen his picture. He's got a lot of gray furs now, but all I think that does is add to the horror aspect, because now, if you see nothing but just a pair of eyes and some white teeth staring at you in the dark, it looks like the demented Cheshire Cat from hell. You see that at night, and you are canceling credit cards. You are changing your pants. Anyway, I come in through the back door. I see him. He's acting on alert. Everybody knows... Everybody with a dog owner, or every dog owner knows that look your dog has when they're ready to start throwing paws, when they start ready to opening jaws, when they're ready to start putting people in the ground, when they're ready to start going guard dog hound. So anyway, I call out to Thor, I say, "Hey buddy, it's me." He doesn't recognize me. That might as well have been a password to activate Hellhound mode, because he does not bark and wake up the house. He has done that when he was a puppy, but now that he was an adult, oh no. In fact, he was ready to do it silently. he growled and then melted into the darkness. Bear in mind, there is a stretch of light shining through the front window by the front door. That moonlight window lights up the hallway in between the front door and the back door, and it creates a sort of lit path leading straight to me. Well, that's the fastest path to actually get to me. Here's how I know that Thor is a strategist and a bit of a psychopath. He did not take the lit path. He knew he has black fur, and he knew just how dark it was and just how poor my vision is at night as a human. This dog full-on melted into the blackness of the night. And get this, he growls loudly. Did anybody remember what rooms are in the back door? The kitchen, the dining room, and a living room, aka lots of tile, meaning lots of space for the voices to echo off the walls. Thor is growling as he approaches, a very guttural growl I have never heard in my life, and it's echoing off the walls, so I can't tell which direction he's coming from. From my point of view, it sounds like he's coming from all directions at once. It's like the Jaws theme, and I can't escape. I'm the dumb blonde at the beginning who's going to get eaten by the shark. He's got his jaws ready. Steven Spielberg is about ready to make cash. So anyway, I still don't know which route he took. He could have gone through the right around the kitchen. He could have gone underneath the dining room table. He could have gone from the left around the table. All I know is that he did not take the route quickest to me. By the time I looked left to flip on the lights, I about needed to change my pants because I just see two reflective eyes and a set of teeth right as I flip on the lights on my left. And he must have gotten a whiff of my scent before, and that's probably why I'm still alive without any holes in my pants. Because he just, immediately with the flip of a switch, it's like his switch flipped and he was back into best friend mode. He's like, hey, how's it going? How's it going? How's it going? I'm like, how's it going? I'll tell you what's going. Like, I'll tell you what's going. My heart rate is going, that's for sure. My sanity's going down, that's going. Oh, man. Hey, White Wolf, good to see you. Thor psychopath for using the echoes in the darkness. Now that's a mastermind for instilling fear. Karma, as if that was years ago. And for once, when I moved into this townhouse, he decided to pull that same move on me again. He sat in the middle of the house. I wouldn't be surprised if it was on the same day that year. I open up the back door, and he decides that I'm now enemy number one on the FBI's most wanted list and comes running at me. And I didn't get scared this time. I flipped on the light, annoyed. I'm like, it's me, you knucklehead. And he comes running up to me, wagging his tail, happy as can be. I'm like, you were just pulling a prank on me that time, weren't you? He falls to the ground, belly up, ready for some belly rub. He's like, am I a good guard dog? Am I a good guard dog? I'm like, yes, you're a good guard dog. You're the best. Give Thor lots of head pats and scratches for me. Will do, Angel. I ain't stuck. Okari, Thor's like, I ain't stuck here with you. You're stuck here with me. Oh, I see, my human. He is. And then there's that picture I showed you guys that Enzo shared with me some years ago. The picture of where Enzo came home late one night and he felt like he was being watched. So he's going up the stairs and he can't ignore it. He flips on. Oh yeah, he saw the glowing eyes at the top of the stairs. Quickly flips on the light like chupacabra and sees Thor standing at the top of the stairs, waiting for him. And he looked like he was poised, ready to strike in the picture. Lorenzo looks up at him like, I got my papers, senor. I'm legal, okay? Thor's like, all right, just walks away. In all fairness, that does actually mean Thor protects the house. But there was one occasion recently where Lorenzo just wanted to knock on the door late at night, and Thor turned into guard dog mode. Growl, bark, and Lorenzo no longer wanted to open the door after that. I'm like, it's okay, Lorenzo, come on. And he's like, I'm scared. He's like, I'm scared, senor. I don't want to. Like, please, senor. I want to live. I have kids. You don't have kids. I will someday. Oh, man. Greetings, Ycey and friends. Just hopping in to say hello. Hey, White Wolf, glad you could make it. You remember that picture on Discord? Yeah, Holla. Thor is a guard dog. He is the knight. He is the shadow. Your dog did the same thing too, Montserrat. You call his name and he wouldn't answer, and then out of nowhere he comes walking from a dark hall. My mom almost screams, only to see a tiny black poodle with the goofiest smile come through. That's different. That is different. What you were dealing with was a foofer with attitude. What I was dealing with was the night itself. I'm convinced that I've never had night terrors or sleep paralysis because I'm pretty sure that any creature that would want me to experience sleep paralysis walks by my room, sees Thor there, and thinks, one of them shadow dogs is already here. Never mind, we'll move on. Then they come back and see him still there, still curled up in a ball, watching the door. They're like, how long is he going to keep going? How long is he going to stay there? Thor's like, as long as I need to. Just listen, you can either stay, and I'll do what I gotta do, get a late night snack, or you can go and be able to breathe another day through your windpipe. My brother's dog used to have separation anxiety issues and wanted to be with my mom and dad, but the door was closed, so he sat on the carpet outside the room, and the next morning, he tripped your dad. No. Mackenzie. Meanwhile, my dog is scared of his own shadow. Bless her tiny 12 pounds heart. If anybody has heard me say in the past, I have a dog, like a real dog, not a barking rodent, I don't mean that with malicious intent. I mean that with truthful intent. Hey, I raised rats before. They're cute. They can be adorable. So can a small dog, especially when you hold it. It's a great alarm system, too, having a small dog. They'll let you know that there's somebody in the house while they bark from underneath the couch. I had a dog like that, too, a little Pomeranian. Thor was the security system. She was the alarm system. Let's see. Not that reference. Thor is really like, I want waffle fries. Oh, jeez. Artist Geek, think about having a Rottweiler. Jeez. First off, I love Rottweilers, so that's a plus for me. But yeah, a Rottweiler wanting to guard your house. Yeah, if you're going to rob that house, it's best just to say, I hit the wrong house. Let's see. There was a dogs meme. There's a guy on YouTube that does a lot of dogs memes. And for one of them, somebody said, POV, you have a German Shepherd. Well, and the German Shepherd, it was a comedian. A comedian talked about how it's fun having a German Shepherd because they don't wake you up in the night if there's a disturbance. You wake up and there's a person just dead on the ground or knocked out and the dog's got like a gun in his mouth. He's like, oh, sorry. There was a disturbance in the night, a disturbance in the force I took down. I didn't want to wake you. I'm like, that is Thor. He almost took me down and would not have woken up my parents. Because when he slept at my parents' house and didn't recognize me, nearly attacked me, he would not have woken up my parents. I would have woken them up from screaming for my life. Just like Ycey got that guy fired for going above and beyond the job, Thor is getting sleep paralysis demons fired by being scarier than them. That is beautiful. I have a border collie brindle mix. Oh, high energy dog, Angel. And he's very, very caring. He's been with me for almost 13 years. Is he still energetic at that age, Angel? Not sure how my parents, Tucker and Tess, would still react to strangers. Not sure. I might have to find out. Okay. Enjoy your leftovers, Mackenzie. I know, right? Her favorite toy was a bunny. Artist Geek, that is your Rottweiler named something like Fluffy? You know, you got the Rottweiler, scary looking dog, cute fluffy toy, and then suddenly it's named something like Strawberry. Okay, my security system is a blink dog. Just try and keep track of where he is. I see what you did there. Ycey, I love Dark Souls. Thor coming out of the shadows, heavy metal playing. Me too. No. Letty said it was exactly that. I walked in through the back door and I suddenly hear the Dark Souls theme playing and I see a health bar down below. I'm like, I need my long rest. I'm about to die. Both my Golden and my Bernese smell me from a mile away and go crazy even before I open the door. Lauda, I think Golden Retrievers are just the ultimate therapy dogs. You cannot feel unloved around them, you know? Bernese, though, man, that is a strong sniffer right there. Artist, nope, her name is Misery. A Rottweiler chewing on a fluffy bunny toy named Misery. I find that also fitting in some ways. Ycey, has Thor been trained, or is he just that smart? A bit of both. He's never been trained by a formal trainer. He's just been trained by us. So in other words, yeah, he's just smart. Let's see. Dogs are indeed fabulous. Okay, here we go. Oh, wait a minute. Those polls I was telling you guys about. Let me grab that real quick. Here we go. I gotta grab this poll for the chat. Okay. Which would you guys pick? We'll say that the ability to fly or teleport. I know I've done this before, but I want actual documentation for this for the future. Now, you might say, how fast can you fly? Well, we'll say that you are limited to, I don't know, 100 kilometers per hour. So that is as fast as you can fly, you know? Better yet, we'll say 500 kilometers per hour. Very fast. And yes, before anybody comments, we'll say that your body will somehow be able to withstand this unless you land. Then you go back to having a normal body. So don't expect to get hit by a car and be like, hey, I can withstand the pressure of flying at 500 kilometers per hour, so that must mean I can get hit by a car and only suffer a minor headache. Don't get hit by cars. All right, and then if you can teleport, it's only within, say, I'll say within 100 miles. Better yet, within 100 kilometers. And yes, you can teleport over and over and over again, so if something is 500 kilometers away, you only have to teleport 5 times. All right, so I'm going to start this little poll right here. Feel free to answer how you may. I'm curious what you guys would pick. Because my philosophy is this. Would you rather get there quickly with teleport, or would you rather enjoy the ride with flying? Better yet, if you really don't like the idea, why don't take away my limitations? Maybe you can fly however fast you want, or you can teleport however far you want. Which one matters most to you? Getting there immediately, or enjoying the ride? Is like Superman flying, or do we have wings? Shay, I'll let you decide that. I'll let you decide it. If you want to have wings for flying, you will have wings. If you want to be like Superman for flying, you will just be like Superman, just floating. Researcher Ycey mode. Are there limits to what we can carry when we teleport? I.e., do we have to hold... Yeah. A good question, Pukari. I'll just say that it's you. You can't touch a person. I'll say that you can carry what can fit in a suitcase, and then whatever's on you. That teleports with you. I know that some people are going to be like, but I can carry one of my friends. Fine. If you can pick up one of your friends, I will let you teleport with them. But it'll be like Harry Potter, though, where you teleport and immediately want to puke. Teleport with food for everyone. That's a good question. That's a good response, Audrey. I didn't even think about that. You teleport to somewhere around the world, come back with food. I want to fly and enjoy the journey. Teleporting is more convenient and flying is more fun. Ani, I think you hit the nail on the head. Enjoying the ride matters, but the distance I could go is what matters the most. See, that's the thing. With the limitations I presented before, one is clearly more advantageous than the other. But no matter what, you will get to the destination whether you're flying quickly or teleporting distances at a time. You'll still get to where you want to go. Let's see now. I've had too many close calls where I was almost late to class. Teleportation, no question. All right, Silver Rainbow, what happens when you graduate school? Yay, the strength training will pay off. I could bring my bestie with me. Here's the only stipulation. Shay. Coinciding with what I said earlier, it's whatever you can fit in a suitcase. The only way the teleportation works is you have a special suitcase. Your friend just has to fit in that suitcase too. Man, this is some goofy logic going on here. Alright, I'm gonna stop the poll. I want to see the results first. Okay, 54% of you said that you would rather teleport, while the remainder said that they would rather fly. Okay. Alright, here's another question for you. Given the genre of which this place, which these people are very much associated, given the genre that we always write about here, guys, would you prefer to read human minds or talk to animals? Ooh, Annie. I will save that one next. That's an interesting one. Because you'd also have to make animals intelligent enough to actually understand conversations. And at the same time, I'd say, personally, I'm not somebody who likes reading minds because I believe in personal privacy. What is in your mind stays in your mind. Like, imagine somebody that just barges into your room anytime they want. And not just in your room, like bathroom too. You're on the john, you're in the shower, they just burst in, no warning, no announcement. Even if you have nothing to hide, that's just annoying. That's just disrespectful. Well, she's almost 6 feet tall, so now I don't think she'll be able to fit. Oh, Shay. Think of those giant suitcases that you have to roll around. So maybe she could fit into it if she just, tucks herself in. Nice crown, sire. Thank you, Syntemis. The king of the palace needs to feel like a king. Alright, got another one. Alright, I got another one for you. Let's say, and I'll let you decide, is it a modern day fantasy? Let's put it this way. Say you lived, I got another question for you. Say you lived in a fantasy setting, or a modern one if you'd like, you choose. Would you rather have a pet dragon, and it can be a smart dragon that talks to you, or one that's, as smart as an animal, but it is self-sufficient? It will not cause any nuisances around whatever place you live in. You don't need to worry about feeding it. Some way or another, it will feed itself without causing any nuisances or economic downpour. The other side, would you rather be able to turn into a dragon? You can choose what type of breath weapon, if that matters. There we go. I'll let you start this one. Would you rather have a pet dragon that's self-sustaining or become a dragon? Man, I really like that one question you asked. Let me go up in the chat. Where's my water? There you are. Let's see now. Somebody said to see people at want, teleport, to have fun, flying with nice wings, of course. Larissa just wants it all. Fly and teleport. The way I see it, Larissa, you're just weighing the consequences. I like that. Annie, I'll hold on to that question. I want to ask that one next. That's a good one. That you live in a fantasy setting, say less. I'm already hyped. I mean, honestly, Shay, that could be another question in and of itself. Would you rather live in a futuristic sci-fi setting or a high fantasy medieval one? And I say high fantasy because I say picture anything like minor conveniences such as indoor plumbing and electricity and just say, magic. That's what I mean by high fantasy. Being a song dragon. I'm seeing a lot of pet dragons in the chats. Really, chat? You just want a pet dragon? You just want a little pet dragon. I can understand that. I think turning into a dragon would be cool. I'm with you on that, Anna. I would pet dragon. I would ride the dragon. Spider girl, yes. I would also say that your dragon trusts you enough to let you ride it. In this situation we're proposing. I have dyspraxia. I am a bit distant with my disses. I don't know what that is. I don't want to combine that with a giant body that flies and breathes dragon. Hang on, let me look up dyspraxia real quick. Actually, I can just get rid of my background briefly. There we go. Oof. Dang it, no. I want to move me. There we go. Alright, let me get rid of my background real quick. Here we go. Alright. me see if I can find that. Oh yeah, the throne glows. Why is it tilted? The throne, is it tilted? Or is that just me? No, it's... Never mind. Dyspraxia. Let me look that up real quick. What is dyspraxia? There we go. We need to make sure that you guys can actually see it. There we go. Dyspraxia. I think that's how you pronounce it. Oh, stink. I got rid of the music. Oh, no, it's still there. Window capture. There we go. Alright, dyspraxia. Also known as developmental coordination disorder, neurological condition that affects motor skills, balance. Huh. Let's see. Dyspraxia. Is that... dyspraxia, also known as developmental coordination disorder, does not affect your intelligence. No, obviously. Just sounds like hand-eye coordination. A chronic condition that begins in childhood. Okay, I want to know the symptoms, not where it starts. Okay, so it just affects motor skills, balance, and coordination. You know what? Suddenly I see exactly why you would not want to be riding on top of a dragon. Something that would require that much balance. Oh my good gravy. Good grievances, no. One bump in the road and you'd be flying off of that dragon. Yep, okay. Very good reason not to want to have that. Alright. Let's bring this back. What the heck? Oh, it is tilted. How did it get tilted? I guess we'll ignore it. That doesn't, that's not there. Oh, for pity's sake. Oof. Can't move that around. Wonder if... Oh, that's why. Maybe it's because I'm tilted and it's just following me. There we go. Alright, now let's go ahead and bring our background back. Better yet, it'll be a nice night. Here we go. Alright. And I'll go ahead and stop that little, okay. 61% said own a pet dragon, 39% said become a dragon. You want it? I don't think I need to explain which one. Where is it? Oh no. Oh dear, no one wants a tilted throne. There we go. Now it's back to normal. Dyscalculia? Dyscalculia. Look up Look up dicalculia. It's like dyslexia, but with numbers. Or dyscalculia, you meant. Oh, gosh. I know what you mean, dyscalculia. It's probably something like you can't solve numbers very easily. But part of me just read that as numbers being... you being blind to numbers for some reason. I know that is not the case. Still. Silver Ranger says, I want toothless. You live your toothless dream, okay, chat? I think we know which option I would be. Yes, I would like to become a dragon at will. Fantasy setting or modern, it works. And he says, meanwhile, I was thinking about dictatorship with double power with my pet dragon. Oh, man. We got dictatorships coming out. Oh, shoot. I didn't mean to make that permanent. Oh, boy. Well... I guess there's no way to get rid of that. Okay, let me go ahead and just get rid of some of my assets here. Let's see. Cancel. Item settings. Unlock all loaded items. There we go. Unlocked. And let me go get rid of these. There we go. Honestly, just throw that. Yeet. Just throw the chair. Give him the chair. Alright. We'll make another chair. There we go. Make a small chair. There we go. Now it's all nice and correct posture. And just put it right there. Nice. Now it cannot be moved. Alright then. Moving back to what we were talking about. I want a Draco from Dragonheart. Not so much a pet, but a friend. Yeah, and that was one of the options, Amber. Let's see. Hey, Ycey, what kind of sci-fi? Zombie sci-fi or superhero sci-fi? I'm talking Star Trek or Star Wars sci-fi, Spider-Girl. That's what I'm talking about. But you do bring up a good point. What type of dystopian would you live in? Huh, if you had to. I love a pet fox or a pet wolf. That's nice. Okay, I'm really curious about Annie's question. That one for me, it's like an invasion of privacy, but we'll put it this way. I'm going to propose it. Like what Annie said, would you rather be able to read? Let's see. Which one would you pick? Would you rather be able to read minds of humans? And because I have that whole thing about, privacy's sake, how about you know someone's intention? It is not 100% access to someone's mind. You only get to know the surface level thing of what they're thinking of. If you would rather just know everything about a person, all right, fine. You may find some things out about people that you didn't need to know, including yourself, and I'm not just talking about bad things. Might even be good things, too. Fears that they have. Okay. Would you rather read human minds or talk to animals? And we'll also say for the purpose of this conversation, we'll say that the animal is smart enough to actually hold a conversation. So let's face it, even with animals that are learning how to talk, like chimpanzees, chimpanzees and other animals that can speak through sign language oftentimes don't know the difference between they don't know sentence structure. I don't know if any of you have heard of that one chimpanzee, that one gorilla that had a pet kitten. You've probably seen the cover, though. It would say things like, oh, not Amy, that's from the movie The Congo, but I'll say Amy. Gorillas, chimpanzees, creatures that learn how to speak using sign language oftentimes don't understand sentence structure. They just know that food is whatever they put in their mouth, and me. So they'll say, Amy eat, or eat Amy. I'm talking about Amy the chimpanzee, or the chimp, or the gorilla in this case. Obviously saying eat the gorilla versus the gorilla eats means two different things. For the gorilla or the chimpanzee, it means the same thing. So for the purpose of this conversation, we're going to say that they do know the difference. Talk to animals, that way they'll finally be able to reply. Coco the gorilla. Thank you, Jen. Yeah. Coco talked with Robin Williams via sign language. Coco did a couple of things, yeah. I do remember Robin Williams talking about that. Apparently there were some very weird handlers that Coco had. I'd hate to break it to you, but has anybody actually heard of that situation with Coco the gorilla? The handlers may have been a little bit, they were doing monkey business, we'll say. My imposter syndrome does not need more anxiety fodder. Talking to animals all the way. I agree. Picking animals would be a good choice in a way. That way they could be able to communicate things. Yeah. I would take the mind reading only if I can tune it off when I want to. Otherwise, it would be a nuisance most of the time. Yes, Montserrat. I'm going to say that you can also turn both abilities off. You can turn them both on and off. So look, I'll choose reading minds only for urgent matters, like trying to read the mind of the smartest person in the class during an exam, or knowing what your manager wants to hear just to make them happy. I get it. You're doing survival instincts. You're not doing something like, is he cheating on me? Or something like that. Or are they holding a secret? And then you read their mind, find out there was a surprise birthday party you shouldn't have known about. All right, let me stop the poll right here. Wow. 82% of you said talk to animals. Honestly, that's the one I'd go for too. And, yep, 17% of you said you'd rather read minds. Okay. I'd rather talk to animals since they can sense natural disasters. Solid be warned. Yeah. Ycey. Animals don't lie. Not even to themselves. Are you sure, Mama Bear? Are you sure that animals do not have the capability of deceiving you? If they can deceive you, they can definitely lie. Like, no joke, my dad, when he was growing up, had it's called an African gray. It's a parrot that is one of the most talkative birds on the planet. It's basically a live streamer at this point. So, but it would also mimic to near perfection some of the sounds that it heard. Every time my dad came home from school, he would say, "Mom, I'm home." So what do you think the parrot did? The parrot at random times during the day would sometimes tell my grandma, my dad's mom, "Mom, I'm home." And his mom would be like, "Okay," or "What are you doing home early?" if it's not that time of the day. Oh, man. Let's see. But you know me, I would 100% talk to animals. Yeah, welcome back, by the way, Amity. Mind Raid, be like Anya from Spy X Family. Oh, man, use that wisely, Mackenzie. Talk to animals and go live in a forest. Ycey, to what purpose, sire? To what purpose? Oh, you're talking about the whole Coco situation. All right, let me go look this up real quick. So, yeah, I heard about this little situation with Coco the gorilla. Here we go. Apparently Coco was... Here we go. Move me off to the side. Here we go. Unlock this. So Coco the gorilla had a bit of a bad handler. Let me see. Coco the gorilla. Here we go. Oh my gosh, my throne is following me around again. Gosh dang it. Well, I guess I've got a floating throne now at the moment. And it's tilted. Dang it. Yeah. To what extent? Apparently Coco had this, I'll say, fascination with a part of the human body. Okay, this throne is going to bug me if I don't get it to... Here we go. Throne. Hold still. There we go. Very well. Right. So, so Coco, what would happen is she apparently had a fascination with a part of the chest, I'll say, for both men and women, and she wanted to constantly grab them. It was later found out that this was partially either found out by her handlers or encouraged by her handlers. Now, we go to Sad Twilight of Coco, sign language, gorilla dies at 46. Coco the imposter. Oh yeah. There was also a little bit about how some people are questioning whether or not Coco could actually talk. She could. She did know sign language. But a lot of the things that she would say that sound profound were just monkey see, monkey do. I'm not the person who found this out, by no means. I'm just parroting, since we just mentioned African Grey, I'm just parroting what a bunch of other people have already said. The throne is frozen to Helix's backside. Yep, unfortunately. This is why you don't get a throne made of ice. It is made of crystal, I'll have you know. Not ice. Alright. It's a celestial throne. Thank you. So yeah. That was the sad, depressing reality of Coco. People who thought that she was an intelligent gorilla that could talk about her life. Turns out she could not. She could just express basic needs like apes, saying, "I'm hungry," or "hug," or "nipple," for some reason. Later found out that there was some very suggestive things that some of the employees and handlers were doing behind the scenes. So yeah, depressing, I know. But that's how life oftentimes is. Very diaspora. Very depression. Now, here we go. Come on, move, Helix. Where are you going, Helix? Why aren't you moving? Oh, shoot. Maybe I gotta move this over. I can't move Helix. Maybe I gotta unlock everything. Unlock everything. There we go. I can't even click on Helix. Okay. Gotta throw another throne away. Lock all loaded items. There we go. Okay, gotta throw another throne to the side. I can't move Helix. Gosh dang it. Come on, Helix, move. Work with me, boy. You're doing that thing when you pick up a chair and carry it when you move. Yeah, I kind of am. Dang it, so it's just stuck at the moment. Ah, crud. I think it's just stuck. Alright, let me just calibrate it real quick to see if that's what's going on. Oh no, calibrating just works with the face. There we go. Calibrate. Now I still can't move him around. Gosh dang it. Alright, let me do this instead. Just have to restart it is all. There we go. Helix is going to disappear for just a moment, ladies and gents. He'll be back. Sire, that is the 6th throne you've thrown away. Relax, I have tons. Oh gosh, deadpan stare Helix is terrifying. No, I still can't move him. Alright, time to look up another little thing. Well, at least I can wake him up. There we go. Alright, now let's move Helix. Come on, dang it. Helix likes that spot. Helix apparently does like that spot. Listen, in the future, I'll have a little chat box off to the left. I can only point to it with Helix's head because he doesn't want to move. Sir, how many thrones have you thrown away since I left? Honestly, only 2. But I liked the bid. It was just there. The joke was set up, I had to say it. It's like, sir, that is the 6th throne you've thrown away. Ah, it's okay, it's a rental. Like, relax, it's just made of diamond. I got plenty of those. They grow off my back. I'm a diamond dragon. Star Dragon still. Ycey, the throne doesn't have a leg to stand on. I see why Helix won't move. Look at the little critter who just flew by. What little critter just flew by? Oh, she saw the throne. I wonder. Items. Relocked, 3 unlocked. Unlock. There we go. There we go. And crown stops moving around. Okay, I guess we're about to do something else, chat. Let's look up a fun little thing called What to Do. There we go. There we go. Now, let's see. VTube Studio. Oh, for grip's sake. VTube Studio. Model won't move. Can't move, scroll, or rotate the model application. Just made a diamond. I live in a dang cave. Diamond don't come easy. Ah, well, it's a rental. We're not gonna get back our deposit, are we? Nope. I rent these out to other people. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. It says right here. I don't really trust the AI things sometimes. They can be misleading. Let's start with this first. You're acting like thrones grow on trees, mister. I mean, they grow on my back. You know, the dragon form's back, at least. No, the cute little anime sketch that briefly made a cameo in the Ice Palace. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the little... That's VTube Studios... what do you call it? Mascot. Pretty much what the title says. I double tap, scroll through, try clicking the yellow lock button. I already did that. Yep, that's what I ended up doing. What? It didn't work with me. Pretty much what the title says. I double click to the menu and scroll through. Can't move or rotate the model in application. Let's try it again. Okay. Unlock all loaded items. I did. And I can't move myself still. Okay, there we go. I just had to keep clicking it, I suppose. Huh. Oh well. That's probably what happened. You just have to keep clicking it until something eventually does come forward. Okay. Let's go ahead and bring our background back then. There we Sagosa. Ah, beautiful realm. Now, where's a good chair for me to sit on? There we are. Wonderful. Giant chair. What do you think of this, guys? Giant chair. I look like I'm sitting on my dad's throne. Oh my goodness. There we go. And we'll just put this right here in place. Alright, and we'll just stay put. So yeah, if that prop keeps bugging out, Ycey, I will have it thrown away. Yeah. Reminds me of an old saying, ladies and gents. There was a news report some years ago about how the throne of England was actually stolen, and by none other than a bunch of people who lived out in the boonies that lived in grass tree huts. It wasn't hard to find. The authorities tracked them down, shook the tree branches, and the throne fell immediately right out. The title was the best one I had ever seen. The authorities had only to say that people who live in grass homes should not stow thrones. See, giant chair, tiny helix combo would be perfect. You look like Alice in Wonderland. Hey, Madam Kingsley, how are you doing today? There he goes. Had to keep poking him until he cooperates. Yep. Guess he just had to keep poking him. Hey, you live and learn, you know? At least I know for next time. It's me, yay. Oh, phooey, zombie help. I'm stuck. Mama bear. I'm just picturing two people trying to fit in this thing. Githyanki, never heard of them, but new to D&D. I need to play Baldur's Gate again, just as a quick... You know what? I think I'll stream parts of my Honor run every now and then. Honor run is just the hard mode in that game. I already played through and beat it, but I'm kind of going all out for this run. I'm surprised they managed to even get their hands on it, let alone get it out. Yeah, Silver Rain, that's just a made-up story. It's kind of like saying, yeah, none of that ever happened, Silver Rain. It's just a made-up story. It's like the report about a 4-foot-tall psychic, you know, that was committing crimes and scamming people. Authorities had only to say that a small medium was at large. You know, eventually he was arrested, but he escaped from jail. Apparently he just had to dig a hole through the fence. Police are still looking into it. I'm done. There we go. Surprised they managed to even get it out. Yep. So whoever knows D&D classes, what's your favorite class? Paladin for me. That's definitely one I would go for. Okay, we'll probably keep this going on for another half hour. Oh yeah, I got other questions we need to ask, people. So we've been going for lots of would you rathers. How difficult is honor mode in Baldur's Gate 3? Anna, depends what you mean. For a lot of people, they say combat is the most difficult part. For me, I've actually sabotaged myself twice. So yeah, sabotage myself meaning on the first occasion, let's just say I was trying to romance Shadowheart. I had completed almost all of Act 1, and on your first date with Shadowheart in Baldur's Gate 3, if anybody is new to what Baldur's Gate 3 is, it's a game. It's basically romance adventure simulator. Well, on your first date with Shadowheart, you have to pass an insight check. And it's done in the background, so you don't roll this yourself. The game rolls it in the background, there's no chance to re-roll it, etc. But you just have to get a 5 or higher. My character has a +1 in wisdom. So the lowest number he can possibly get is like a 3, is a 4 or higher. The only way he can fail that check is with a 1 or 3. Well, guess who rolls either a 1 or 3? 20 chances. Or out of a roll of 1 through 20, he somehow rolls either a 1, 2, or 3, and he fails the check. If you fail that insight check, you don't get to kiss Shadowheart. And me being my simpin' behind would not stand for that, so I decided to shut my computer down, hoping that that would trick the honor run. Nope. When I came back, the honor run said difficulty setting, custom. It meant that it got rid of the honor run difficulty setting. I'm like, I asked for that. I will take responsibility. So I restarted the dang run. On my second try, though, something happened where the game actually froze part of the way through, and I was forced to actually just hard quit. And when I went back into the game, it said that the difficulty was set back to custom again. I'm like, ah, crap. So that one wasn't really my fault, but Maybe if I just waited a bit longer, it would finally load. But no, I waited a few minutes. The game was thoroughly frozen at that point. Now that I'm going in again, I decided to, well, I got to a certain point where too many NPCs had died. Combat was pretty easy in the game because I'm playing as a paladin, full paladin. I smite my way through the problem. The combat is not that hard. Until, let's see, Balin, Wolbrin and the Deep Gnomes. Who else? Rollin, and some other tiefling at Last Light Inn, and Counselor Flork. Basically, like 8 NPCs had died that I wanted to keep around. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to restart, but I'm going to create a second save. I'm going to create a second honor run. So I now have 2 honor runs going at the same time. One of them, the second honor run, is actually a Dark Urge campaign. And Dark Urge has this tendency to accidentally want to murder people, and you can either fight against it or embrace it. Still talking about Baldur's Gate here. So, why did I start that second run? Well, I figured if NPCs are going to die, I might as well make it a story element, you know? Because I want to get an achievement where you have to keep all the tieflings in Baldur's Gate 3 alive until the end of the game. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to get 3 achievements in a row. One for completing the game in Honor Run, one for completing it in Tactician mode, because you can get both at the same time, and one for completing the game and saving all the tieflings. Ycey, did you try playing the game Draken? I haven't. Is that Draken Ridge? Because I did actually voice a character in Draken Ridge, but is that different from Draken? Honor mode in Baldur's Gate 3. I don't think I'd have the bravery to attempt that. Listen, Amity, you need to play the game in standard mode first, okay? The Frostbite thought and the Monty Python skit. 'Tis but a scratch. No joke, though. Abby, I think I've created what is possibly my most broken character of all time, and I have now finally implemented him in the game. He is an Oathbreaker Paladin. He's got a little circlet that lets him get bonus damage. He's got another ability at level 7 that gives him bonus damage. Basically, the long and short of it, I will spare you the details on the mechanics. It basically allows him to one-shot anything. So, I'm feeling quite confident about my Baldur's Gate run. I did a custom run too, just to mess with the dice rolls, nothing else. See, Hala, my first few playthroughs were in custom mode because I just wanted to be able to get a free shot in without wasting my action before combat starts. You're just learning about D&D, Mama Bear. You're trying to cleric. I like healing and helping. Not so good in combat. Mama Bear, a life domain cleric is, oh, chef's kiss. Because there are so many different healing abilities that you not only get, but bonuses you add on to it. I made Shadowheart a life domain cleric in my current game. In one turn, she can make us go from almost dead to full health or almost full health. That's how good that domain is. Mackenzie, you were killed by a Starian? I didn't even know that was a thing. How did you get killed by a Oh, you let him bite you, didn't you? And then you failed the check to get him off and he kept biting you, didn't he? Is that what happened, Mackenzie? Yep, stupid vampire bite. Oh no. If it makes you feel better, Mackenzie, I made a sorceress and had her... Actually, no, she romanced Gale, but she let Astarion bite her, and I failed the check to get him off of me. And it was stupid because it was a charisma save, or a charisma check, and she's a sorceress, but she got a nat 1 on a save, so... yeah. Woke up the next morning dead, and Astarion goes, oh dear. To be fair, though, I had Astarion be the one to revive her, because he's like, well, I made this mess, might as well finish it up. Let's see. True, I'm already nervous about playing standard if I get the game one day. Amity, I hope you get the game one day. We need to finally see you be a wizard in that game. Larissa, unable to choose between sorceress, cleric, or bard, or any combination of the 3, so it just says yes. Just want to be a healer, basically. The most broken but absurd character. is right, Larissa. Kind of low-key simp for the Oathbreaker Knight. Really, Luna? Honestly, that Oathbreaker thing came as a result by accident. You see, to put it frankly, there's a part of the game where you have to rescue some deep gnomes. Just think of gnomes, but gray-skinned. These deep gnomes are being slaved by dwerger, also basically just dwarves, but with gray skin and white hair. So, you have to rescue some deep gnomes from dwarves. How you do it, though? Failing a charisma roll must have been a blow to your ego. Montserrat, like I said, this sorceress, actually I kind of was playing her as, I was playing her, or role-playing her as kind of somebody who was a bit trusting, like too trusting. So it was actually good character development. I pictured it as her being too timid to say, Astarion, please get off. Like, I told you not to drop more than you need. But maybe she was like, maybe he just needs a little more. I mean, I'm feeling okay. And then, dead. So, character-wise, it was a good way for her to be like, okay, I need to be more assertive or I'm gonna die. Does playing that game feel like it helps with playing actual D&D? Yes, Remy. Both for playing and even DMing, I would say. I say that as somebody who was DMing for years, long before I even started Baldur's Gate 3. I restarted my Baldur's Gate 3 run. Not sure if I'll ever see myself play it, but it's fun for sure. Too busy with other things. I feel you, Ariel, but I think you should do it. Especially what we talked about earlier with Callistra and yourself. One of my friends said I would be a bard that doesn't romance nobody. I gather people, which is pretty accurate because I attract people who I vibe with food. I attract people who I vibe with food, and being weird in a fun way is the best way. Punctuation is a thing, but I kinda understood what you said. Luna, it's the accent, sue me. Okay. Yeah, about that Oathbreaker thing. Paladin from me and took the Oath of Vengeance that I broke with Ethel's quest once. I remember telling you that, Ycey, in the Baldur's Gate 3 streams. Yeah, because you broke your oath at the exact same time that I did. I remember you saying that. So, but yeah, with this current one, my Vengeance Oath, I'm playing as that paladin again. When I was supposed to rescue the deep gnomes, I didn't know that you could actually get those deep dwarves on your side. Anytime in the past, I've just been fighting them all. I didn't know that you could get a few of them on your side, so I decided to do it this time. They wanted me to take out a little floating orb that acts as a spy, so I did. I got rid of it. Nobody saw a thing. And then I rescued a villain called Nair in the game, which is what you're supposed to do. But then, the dwerger that you side with, they didn't speak up yet. And so Nair acts like a big baddie and kills one of the deep gnomes. Usually this is when I step in and say nobody else dies, but I thought, wait, what if that causes the entire room to become aggressive again? I mean, I know I can still take them, but I want something new this time. So I decided to say nothing, hoping that the dwerger who were on my side would speak up. They didn't. And it shows a cutscene of the big bad evil guy Nair force choking all of the deep gnomes to death, including my boy Barkus. I'm like, Barkus, no. So yeah, I not only lost all the deep gnomes in that cutscene, but I also broke my oath because I didn't protect the innocent. So I'm like, well, this sucks. So like I said, Baldur's Gate 3 is not difficult for me in the combat sense. It's difficult in the careful with your choice and decision making, or else you are going to find yourself restarting runs because you've lost too many NPCs, or made dumb decisions, or you were tired of doing the same old and wanted to make different decisions, not knowing what the outcome would be. Honestly, that's kind of true to life, though. You can't take back any of your decisions, you can only move forward. Ooh, gosh, knowing me IRL, I'd be nervous about the Astarion bite scene. Like, sir, okay, get off now. Ow. Oh, no. Amity, I was role-playing that sorceress I created exactly the same way. I made her somebody who was just a little gullible, and her character development will be somebody who becomes more assertive afterward. So yeah, she went through the same thing, did the performance check to try to push him, or try to convince him to get off of her, like he's had enough blood. Natural 1 on the save, or on the roll, and he doesn't wake up. Yeah, I made separate characters to romance each of the different characters in Baldur's Gate 3, so I could even make a tier list on which romances are probably the best, if you ask me. A couple of them surprised me, namely Lae'zel's. But away from Baldur's Gate for now. Let's see. Yep, the choices are the tricky parts. Save my life. Honor run can only be done in one save, so you're not allowed to redo anything you do. There was, I see, regarding Cleric, I have trouble remembering spells. I'm so freaking new. I'm so green that I'm basically a dryad. How I would circumnavigate that, how I'd work with that, Mama Bear, is when you're picking out spells, just say this. What is my go-to in combat, okay? What spell do I cast in combat? I'll cast this cantrip. And if I'm up against something big, I have this spell. If I'm up against a group, I have this spell. Alright, now, what are my healing spells? For restoring HP, this. For repairing a broken limb, this. I know it sounds too simple, but trust me when I say preparing ahead of time is like programming your mind. It gets rid of that little test taker symptom when the time comes for combat. Test taker symptom meaning, you know, when the test comes out, you're like, I just forgot everything that I'd studied. I'm not dead yet. I'm overslept. She was exactly like that, Amity. Poor little girl. She was just a sweet little sorceress that just wanted to talk. She just wanted to feed her pet vampire. Actually, she's more like the pet in that scenario. That's why I haven't touched honor mode yet. Hala, those are the last couple achievements I need to get before I can 100% the game. I do want to move on to other games apart from just Baldur's Gate, but not before I 100% the game. Those are the last few that I'm missing. And one that I'm actually dreading getting, but that's why I have a second save. I want to get that achievement and then forget about it. Forget about it. Still in my first run, but oof, I'm excited for the others too. Yeah, Larissa, you are progressing. You're almost in Act 3, you said. Oof, I gotta get some water. Let's see. Didn't know there was an option to save now. I spoke to the mushroom people and, well, they asked for help. So I helped. Yeah, there's an option to actually, like, turn Nair over to the light side. But yeah, I did the exact same thing. You know, the mushroom people asked for help, so I helped. Really good advice for spells, Ycey. Hey, thanks. That is how I played as a wizard character in one of my actual D&D games. Romancing, yep, Hala, that is the one I'm dreading. I'm like, why did they have to make romancing squid face an actual achievement? Gosh dang it. I'm also trying to avoid spoilers, so. Does the achievement have to do with Scratch? Montserrat, that was like one of the first achievements I ever got in the game. Scratch, you know, giving both the furballs a head pat at the same time? That was the best achievement there is. I got that on, let's see. I got that one on video. I had to make sure that I got that achievement. Let's see. Didn't know either. I'm not romancing Cthulhu. Yeah, Jen, Annie, some achievements are just odd. Okay. Let's see. There were some questions I was thinking about asking. These were some of the odd questions we would ask at work. We, meaning like me and one other person or two, perhaps. Well, let's see. I did that in the tentacles. Wait, you did it with the tentacles. You know that you can have Squid Face take on a different form, right, Hala? Without revealing any spoilers. Videos, oh goodness, I bet you've been doing a lot of work. Oh wait, that's not for me. Hey, some people like some Cthulhu action. I don't know. Silver Rain? Bonk. Like, Silver Rain, I'm gonna interrupt you with a bonk. Inappropriate bonkiness. Inappropriate horniness, 10 bonks. Throw the red card. Not the tentacles, Amity. I mean, sometimes Squidward just needs a little bit of love, I guess. In one game, I got an achievement for trying to make coffee with toilet paper when there was no other choice. I need to bleach my mind of that image. Now, let's see. What was it again? It was a... Man. Oh yeah, in case anybody is curious, somebody a while ago asked me, will I try playing Love in Deep Space again? The answer is yes, I will. What's this I hear about romancing a squid? Is that chat okay? Abby, we're talking about a game called Baldur's Gate 3. We were. I'm kind of moving away from the topic a little bit. But at the moment, let's see, what time is it? Oh, I actually do have to wrap up the stream right about now. So, anyway, some announcements for the future, ladies and gents. I'll be doing these casual streams a lot more often, and I'm going to add a little sidebar where you can see your comments in the chat. Just in case I need to move all these videos to another channel, you know? So, in the meantime, yes, I will try to figure out how to play Love in Deep Space, and, I mean, I already got the game, might as well try to play it on stream. I heard that Love in Deep Space is better on a phone. That's what I have it on, Silver Rain. I just need to find a way to stream my phone to the computer without, you know, while still having Helix here. So, in that case, I will let you all know in the future when I can play Love in Deep Space. It will hit you out of nowhere like a kinky lover, but I will let you know ahead of time. Anyway, thanks for the fun, everybody. I think I'll be actually wrapping up the stream right about now. Thank you all for joining. I will see you tomorrow with a continuation, and we're actually reaching the finale of The Witcher within these next week, I bet. So anyway, my name is Helix, and I bid you adieu. Thank you all for joining me, and goodbye. Until next time, see ya.